gaps and fill it. Just wet it using an epoxy, just have sufficient quantity, and then we could get fairly good results out of this, as we will see from the experimental case. But anodic bonding is the best thing.
In this case, this is a kind of every part is an independent line, independent.
Yes, yes. Each one is a levi.
You know what happens if you cut
It is spoiled. It will be spoiled. It will be spoiled. So there should be sufficient distance between them. There should not be any mixing. Then it will not function.
So you will solve these cavities by one by one, or?
No, it's not like that. It can be charged together. This is after assembly. After assembly, I'll put it. I'll show you later. I have a charging system. Why it's not? So before going to further things about it, I'll be telling a little bit on the analysis. I said that the area of cross section varies along the micro heat pipe, and how it varies is important. How it is dependent on the length or location where you are standing in the analysis is important. But essentially, this is the pattern. This is a triangular one. I can idealize it with this particular pattern, where you have these corners having liquid and vapor inside. Most idealized situation. Whereas in this case, this is the thing. I have a shape like this and these corners, and then if I use the symmetry for this region, this is like one of those wires standing here, and this is the viscous between the vapor, and you have the liquid here. So from the geometrical consideration, it's possible to, I'm not going deep into it, possible to relate this meniscus radius with other parameters. What is the wire diameter? What is the distance between the wire, etc., etc. can be used in order to predict this meniscus radius. Once I have this meniscus radius written as a function of the distance along the heat pipe, then everything is solved. When I get the meniscus radius as a function of the distance along the heat pipe, I can convert it to a surface in a cross-sectional area wherever I want. So this will be incorporated into the model. So working on this geometrical area coefficient is the most important part as far as the geometry is concerned. In the wire sandwich case, it is different from that in the time one. So coming to the physical model, whether it's a triangular heat pipe or the wire sandwich heat pipe I'm talking about, this may be the theoretical problem to be analyzed theoretically. The physical equivalent of the problem may be a micro heat pipe channel. There are so many in it, but it's sufficient that I analyze one of them. So could be okay with a one-dimensional fluid flow model because the cross section is very small. Most of the variations take place only around the flow. Then vapor and liquid cross sections vary along the length, what I told just now. So through the area coefficients I have to incorporate that into the model. Now at the liquid vapor interface which I showed, the meniscus, that is where the phase change takes place. When the conventional heat pipe, it was at the interface, the surface of the wick. Is it not? The liquid vapor interface was the surface of the wick. But here it is just the meniscus. And it is not a constant area. It is varying along the length. So all these things have to be brought into the model. More or less the model may look like the conventional model, but we have to additionally incorporate all these different things into the model. So when I approach the analysis, these are things, the formulation. Formulate the problem as a one-dimensional numerical model to obtain the velocity and temperature distribution, the primitive, the first variables that I want to calculate, the velocity and temperature distributions, and of course the pressure distribution, which I can get from the temperature distribution along the heat pipe. Then I may be interested in evaluating the performance of the heat pipe at the steady state operating condition, as well as maybe while it is heating up and cooling down. Because especially when I am using electronics, this is an important thing. Sometimes it may not come to the steady state at all. Many devices go switching on and off, is it not? So the transient condition is also important for me. What is the performance at the transient condition? Or rather, I am using a heat pipe which is designed for a steady state. Is it going to make the situation worse in this transient condition? Maybe it is dissipating heat into some neighbor space. It can happen, is it not? because system will cool down at different rates. Different parts of the system will cool down at different rates, and then this may be cooling one component, at the same time dumping the heat on another component which is colder than it. So this can happen. So in the transient case, it is important to understand what is the transient performance of heat pipe, and also to calculate a performance parameter.